Yo, what's going on? So I recently did a video about how to make beats like Just Blaze, and a lot of you seem to really like that, and I really appreciate all the positive comments I got on that video, as well as my other videos. It's been really motivating to make me want to make more videos and share some more content, so I really appreciate that. But today I wanted to talk about how to make beats like another one of my favorite producers, Ninth Wonder. So I'll get right into it. I have 4 steps that you can go through. And again, I'm not as good a producer as Ninth Wonder, and he also has a lot of different types of beats, but I really just want to go through some of his earlier style, my favorite style of his, which is that real soulful boom bap sound. Also, as you'll see, I have a new recording set up. I hope you guys like how it looks. Let me know in the comments. But let's get right into the tips. So I have 4 steps in order to make a beat sound like classic Ninth Wonder. The first step being is you want to choose a really soulful sample. He's really known for his soulful sounds and being a real soul fan of music like myself as well. So you want to make sure you have a really soulful sample sound. The second is you want to have really intricate chops. You won't typically find that Ninth Wonder will just loop a sample. It'll be really choppy and it'll use different parts of the song, so you want to try to do that as much as possible. The third thing is you want to have really heavy boom bap drums, a really hard kick, really hard snare. And I don't necessarily mean that you want the kick and snare to be loud, you just want them to sound really hard, which we'll get into. And lastly, the fourth tip is everything else that remains other than the sample and the drums is going to be treated like percussion. And we'll get more into that once we start getting further into the beat. But first off, I have a sample loaded up. I'll actually show you where I got it from. The sample's coming from this record by The Persuaders, best thing that ever happened to me. Great record, really soulful tracks on there and some really good samples that you can chop up as well. And you'll notice while I'm recording this chop that I'm not going to just be sort of going across the pads. I'm going to be going across 3 different banks that I have loaded up in the MPC, and that's just trying to follow that second tip, which is intricate chops. So I'll see what I can do. Okay, now that we got that all chopped up and sequenced, that was at 87 BPM by the way, we can now start adding in our drums. And that brings me to tip 3, which is that you want really heavy boom bap drums. More specifically, for the kick and snare, it really has to sound like it's hitting hard. So I'm going to start off just by recording the kick and the snare, and then I'll add in that hi-hat after. It's typically just how I like to work. So let's get that recorded. You'll notice when I recorded that too, I kept everything in sort of the quarter note recording. I wasn't really doing any intricate like 16th note or 8th note pickups or anything like that with the kick and snare. I just find that that's pretty typical of an early Ninth Wonder beat. Keeps it really simple in terms of the drums, in terms of the kick and snare, so I tried to do the same thing. And just keep that in mind if you're trying to really emulate his early sound, you might want to do that as well. So now I'm going to add in the hi-hat. I'm going to do it unquantized, but I'm not going to do any sort of variation in velocity. Let's do it. That's hard. That is so hard. Okay, so I'm gonna lower the volume of the hi-hat just because it's coming in really strong, and we want to make sure it's that kick and snare that's hitting us in the forefront, not any of the other percussion, so I'm going to lower that. So now we have the sample recorded, chopped up, and the drums laid down. I was mentioning the last tip 4, is anything else that you want to add into the beat, whether it be bass or any other sort of instrumentation, it's going to be treated as if it was percussion. And what I mean by that is it's kind of similar to James Brown used to say, whether you play drums, you're a backup singer, you play bass, you play guitar, really you're playing drums. And that means it's going to be very rhythmic based. It's not going to be super intricate in terms of the notes you're playing, but rather you just want to make sure it feeds into the rhythm of the beat that you're making. But I'm not really concerned about trying to match the bass line of the sample or coming up with an intricate melody. I'll probably use like 2 or 3 notes and then just make sure that the bass guitar feeds into the rhythm of the drums that are already in it. So as you could see there when I was recording that bass line, I was literally just going between 2 notes like this, and then changing the pitch once it got into the last 4 bars of the beat. But the first 4 were just this, and then the last 4 bars were like this. Just changing the note, but the exact same pattern. So that was really loud. I just wanted to make sure you heard that over the beat. I'm just going to turn that down now to mix in a bit better with the beat. Alright, I think that's it. I have the beat together and it sounds a lot like a classic Ninth Wonder beat to me. I really appreciate you guys hanging out, making music. Let me know in the comments if you like this series and you like to see more how to make beats like different types of producers. But again, really appreciate all of the great comments I've been receiving, and I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching. I added a quick little intro into this beat to kind of lead it in, but other than that, I just left it as the loop. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much.